Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the world of rare and collectible coins. If you're passionate about coin collecting, history, and the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, then you are at the right place. Today, we are going to explore the fascinating story, value, and significance of a coin that millions of people have held in their hands but few have truly understood, the Liberty 1-cent coin from the year 1987, minted in Denver, also known as the 1987 D. Lincoln cent. Let's take a journey back to the year 1987. The United States was experiencing a time of growth and transformation. Ronald Reagan was serving his second term as president, the Cold War was still ongoing, and the stock market had its historic crash known as Black Monday. Amid all of this, everyday life continued, and millions of people used small coins for daily transactions. One of these coins was the 1987 D. Lincoln cent, commonly called the Liberty 1 cent. Now, let's talk about the design of this iconic coin. The obverse, or front side, of the 1987 D. Liberty 1 cent features the famous profile of President Abraham Lincoln. This design was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and was created by the designer Victor David Brenner. You'll notice the word Liberty to the left of Lincoln's profile, the date 1987 to the right, and just below the date is the mint mark D, which stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular coin was struck. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the earlier wheat ears design starting in 1959. This design was the work of engraver Frank Gasparo. If you look closely at the back of the coin, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial between the columns, a small but incredible detail that many people overlook. Above the memorial is the inscription United States of America, and below it is the coin's denomination, 1 cent. The phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is also inscribed, reflecting the unity of the nation. Now, let's talk about the mintage. In 1987, the Denver Mint produced an astonishing 4,879,389,514 Lincoln cents. That's right, over 4.8 billion pennies were struck with the D Mint mark that year. Because of this massive production, most 1987 D Liberty 1 cent coins are considered common in circulated condition, but don't let that huge number fool you. While many of these coins are still found in pocket change today, there are certain factors that can make a 1987 D penny worth much more than face value. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A coin that has been well preserved with no scratches, dents, or discoloration is much more valuable. In numismatic terms, collectors are looking for coins in mint state condition, typically graded from MS60 to MS70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. For the 1987 D Liberty 1 cent, coins graded at MS67 red are considered top-tier quality. These coins exhibit bright, original red luster and are free of major imperfections. According to auction records and coin market data, an MS67 red 1987 D penny can sell for anywhere between $150 to $250, depending on the demand at the time of sale. In some rare cases, collectors have paid even more for the finest examples. Now, let's discuss errors and varieties, which are the real gems for collectors. Error coins happen during the minting process, and some of them can dramatically increase a coin's value. For the 1987 D Lincoln cent, collectors look for errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. If you happen to find a 1987 D penny with a clear double die on either the obverse or reverse, its value can soar from just a few cents to hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. There are also some interesting varieties known among 1987 D pennies. Some coins may have weak or missing mint marks, die cracks, or die chips, small flaws that collectors love to hunt for. These can fetch premiums in the market, especially if the coin is in excellent condition. As for the metal composition, by 1987 the US Mint was no longer using copper for pennies. Starting in 1982, the composition was changed to 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating of 2.5%. That means your 1987 D penny is mostly made of zinc, even though it still has the classic copper color. Now let's talk about the current market value in more detail. If you have a circulated 1987 D Lincoln cent, it's typically worth between 1 and 5 cents because of its commonness. However, if you have an uncirculated coin in MS65 condition, it can be worth around $10 to $15. In MS66, it could go for $30 to $50. And for the very rare MS67 red graded coins, the price can reach $150 to $250 or more, especially in top auctions.so. What should you do if you find a 1987 D Liberty 1 cent in your collection? First, examine the coin carefully. Check for errors, varieties, and the coin's condition. If the coin looks pristine and has full red color with no signs of wear, you might want to consider having it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified high-grade penny can sell for much more than a raw coined. In conclusion, the 1987 D Liberty 1 cent may seem like just another ordinary penny, but it carries with it a rich history and the potential for surprising value, especially in high grades or with rare errors. It's a perfect example of why coin collecting is so exciting. You never know when a simple coin in your pocket change could turn out to be a small fortune. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on rare coins. Today, we're going to talk about a very interesting piece of American currency, the Liberty 1 cent coin from the year 1993. Stay with us till the end of this video because you might just find out that the coin sitting in your drawer could be worth more than you think. History of the Liberty 1 cent 1993 coin. The Liberty 1 cent, commonly known as the Lincoln cent or penny, has a long-standing history in the United States. The design of the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, making it a landmark moment in numismatic history. Fast forward to 1993, the U.S. Mint continued producing the Lincoln Memorial reverse design that had been in place since 1959. This reverse design features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, and if you look closely at the back of the coin, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. It's a fascinating detail that many people miss. The 1993 Liberty 1 cent is made of copper-plated zinc, a composition the U.S. Mint started using in 1982 to reduce production costs. Before that, pennies were primarily made of copper. The change to copper-plated zinc made the penny lighter, but also introduced new collecting challenges like plating issues and corrosion problems. The obverse, or front of the coin, features the classic image of President Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, can be found at the base of Lincoln's shoulder. Mintage and circulation. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced a massive number of Lincoln cents. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 5.6 billion coins, while the Denver Mint, which you can recognize by the small d mint mark under the year, produced around 6.4 billion coins. That brings the total mintage to over 12 billion Lincoln cents for the year 1993. This makes it one of the most common pennies from the 1990s in terms of circulation. Because of this high mintage, most 1993 Liberty 1 cent coins are still common today and can be found in pocket change, piggy banks, or coin jars across America. Potential value and worth of the 1993 penny. Now comes the part that everyone wants to know, the value. In general, a regular 1993 Liberty 1 cent coin in circulated condition is worth just 1 cent. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated condition or a coin that has been professionally graded as mint state or MS by services like PCGS or NGC, the value can go up. A 1993 penny in mint state condition, especially if it grades MS65 or higher, can sell for anywhere between $1 to $5. In perfect condition, MS67 or better, it could fetch between $15 to $50, depending on the buyer and the market demand. There have been auction sales where exceptionally preserved 1993 pennies sold for even more, but here's where it gets really exciting: error coins. Some 1993 Lincoln cents have been found with striking errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or other minting mistakes. These error coins can bring big money in the collector's market. For example, a 1993 penny with a visible double die error on the obverse or reverse could be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. Additionally, coins that have retained their original red color from the mint, known as red coins in numismatic terms, are far more desirable than brown or toned versions. A 1993 Liberty 1 cent in full red condition can sell for significantly more to the right collector. Things to look for in the 1993 Liberty 1 cent. If you're checking your change or coin collection, here's what you should look for in your 1993 pennies. Sharp details with know where. If you want a higher grade value, the presence of any doubling on the letters or numbers, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets. Coins with original bright red luster, clean surfaces with no spots or corrosion. If you think you found a valuable version of the 1993 penny, it's a good idea to have it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. Conclusion. So, is the 1993 Liberty 1 cent a rare coin? For the most part, no, it's a very common coin in circulation. However, if you happen to find a 1993 penny in perfect mint condition or with a rare error, it could be worth a surprising amount of money. Even a few dollars for a coin you got as change is a great find. And for serious collectors, those high-grade examples are always in demand. That's why it's always a good idea to check your pocket change. You never know when a simple penny could turn into a collector's treasure. Thank you for We're diving deep into the story of the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent coin, also known as the 1993 D Lincoln penny. If you've got one of these coins lying around, don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it's worth and why collectors still search for it today. Let's start with a quick look at this coin. The 1993 D Lincoln cent features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side of the coin. This design, originally created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday, has remained on the penny for over a century, making it the longest-running coin design in American history. On the reverse side of the 1993 D penny, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which had been the standard reverse design from 1959 until 2008. Above the memorial is the inscription United States of America, and just below that, the words E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Beneath the memorial, you'll find the denomination, 1 cent. The D mint mark, located just below the year 1993, tells us this coin was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The Denver Mint has a long history of producing coins for circulation, and in 1993, it played a major role in supplying pennies to meet the country's demand. Now, let's talk about the historical significance of the 1993 D Lincoln cent. In 1993, the United States was transitioning through major economic changes. While inflation and economic recovery were making headlines, millions of people were still using cash for daily transactions. The penny, although small in value, played an essential role in commerce. Over 6,426,650,571 Lincoln cents were struck at the Denver Mint in 1993, making it one of the most commonly produced pennies of the time. But here's where things get interesting. Even though billions of these coins were made, finding one in pristine, mint condition today can be much harder than you might think. Most 1993 D pennies have been in circulation for over 30 years, which means they've been scratched, dented, and worn down through everyday use. This creates a special demand among collectors for high-grade, uncirculated examples of the coin. Coin collectors often seek mint-state condition coins, usually graded on the Sheldon scale from MS60 to MS70. A 1993 D penny in MS65 red condition is especially valuable because it still has its original copper-plated zinc luster and hasn't developed the brown tones that circulated coins often get. Speaking of composition, it's important to know that by 1993, pennies were no longer made of mostly copper. In fact, starting in 1982, the United States Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition to save production costs. So, the 1993 D penny is made up of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. This makes it lighter and cheaper to produce, but also prone to corrosion if the copper layer wears away. Now let's get to the big question: what is the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent coin worth today? If you have a circulated 1993 D penny, meaning one that has been used in everyday life and shows signs of wear, its value is usually 1 cent. That's right, in pocket change, it's still just worth face value. However, if you have a high-grade uncirculated 1993 D penny, especially one graded MS65 red or higher, the value can jump significantly. In today's market, these coins can sell for $10 to $25 each depending on appeal, color, and condition. The brightest red coins with no spots, scratches, or where are the ones that get the highest bids? But wait, there's more. Some rare errors from 1993 have also surfaced, and these can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. Look out for things like double die obverse, where the lettering or date appears double off-center strikes, where part of the coin's design is missing because of a misalignment during minting, clipped planchets, where a section of the coin is cut off, creating a curved error, die cracks and cuts, where the die that struck the coin was damaged, leaving raised lines or lumps on the coin. These error coins can sell for $50 to over $500, depending on the rarity and severity of the mistake. If you think you have a high-grade 1993 D penny or an error coin, consider sending it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Getting your coin officially graded can greatly increase its value and make it easier to sell to serious collectors. So there you have it, the complete story of the 1993 D Liberty 1-cent coin. While most of these pennies are common, finding one in perfect condition or discovering a rare error could make you a lucky owner of a valuable piece of American numismatic history. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes the smallest coins can lead to the biggest discoveries. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Rare Coin World for more fascinating coin stories and market updates. Hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the next hidden treasure. Thank you for watching, and happy coin hunting!